before we begin. I want to acknowledge that what we're about to discuss may be overwhelming. The legal system is not designed to be easy for victims, and pressing charges can feel like an uphill battle. But understanding exactly what evidence you need is the first step in taking back control. This isn't about making the process sound easier than it is. It's about preparing you for the reality of what it takes to get the legal system to act. If this information feels like too much at any point, pause the video. Take a moment for yourself. We've included mental health resources in the description below. You are not alone in this. Now let's get into it. If you are being stalked and want to press charges, you need to understand what the law actually requires to move your case forward. Many people assume that simply reporting stalking behavior is enough, but in most cases it's not. The legal system has strict requirements for what qualifies as evidence. If your evidence doesn't meet those requirements, law enforcement may dismiss your case, and prosecutors may refuse to press charges. That is the harsh reality, but it's also a roadmap. Losing a case against your stalker can make your situation even more dangerous than before. This is why victims of stalking must be methodical and strategic. So let's break down the evidence equation, what you need to prove to press charges, and how you can gather the evidence that will make your case impossible to ignore. To press stalking charges, the prosecution must prove three things. 1. That the stalker engaged in a pattern of behavior that was unwanted, persistent, and harassing. 2. That their behavior was directed at you specifically. This wasn't random. You were the target. And 3. That their actions caused you to fear for your safety or inflicted significant emotional distress. In some states, prosecutors must prove that the stalker either intended to cause fear or that a reasonable person in your position would feel afraid. Now let's go through these one by one and talk about what kind of evidence you need to prove each of them. The first thing you need to prove is that the stalker engaged in a pattern of behavior, not just one incident. The law usually requires at least 2 separate acts to establish a course of conduct. These acts must be unwanted, and they must be reasonably interpreted as harassment. What qualifies as a course of conduct? Repeated text messages, phone calls, emails, or direct messages online, showing up at your home, your job, or places you frequently visit, leaving unwanted notes, gifts, or letters, spreading false rumors about you, using GPS trackers, or hidden cameras to monitor you. The ways a stalker might interact with or intimidate you can be diverse and creative. But every perpetrator has a mode of operation. It is your job to demonstrate your stalker's MO when it comes time to file charges. Now let's talk about what evidence you need to prove this. Screenshots, save everything, text messages, emails, social media messages, missed calls, anything that proves ongoing, unwanted contact, photos and videos. If you see the stalker near your home, at your work, or anywhere they shouldn't be, document it. You should be building a surveillance system around your home. Wi-Fi notification cameras, CCTV, game cams, or all of the above. If your stalker harasses you at home, you should be able to catch this in footage. Police reports. If you've ever called the police about them before, even if they didn't take action, those reports matter. Get copies of every report. Witness statements. If anyone has seen your stalker harassing you or following you, ask them to write a statement. The more documentation you have, the better. Law enforcement and prosecutors will not dig for these details for you. You have to present them in a way that makes it undeniable that there is a pattern of behavior. The next thing you must prove is that the stalker's actions were directed specifically at you. This prevents general public behavior from being misclassified as stalking. You must show that they weren't just loitering in an area. They were watching you. They weren't just messaging random people. They were messaging you. How do you prove this? If they addressed you by name in messages, that's clear evidence. If they reference specific details about your life, that show they have been watching you. That's even stronger. If they followed you from one place to another, or repeatedly shown up where you are, that strengthens your case. The final piece of the equation is proving that the stalker's actions were meant to intimidate you, or would cause a reasonable person to feel afraid. Some states require proof that the stalker intended to cause fear, while others only require that their actions were reckless and should have been known to cause fear. Either way, you need evidence that their behavior made you feel unsafe. If they have ever made threats, direct or implied, save those messages or voicemails. Did you change your behavior? Did you start missing work? Did you install security cameras? Did you stop going to certain places? Medical records and therapist notes. If you've experienced emotional distress, panic attacks, trouble sleeping, anxiety, even personal logs describing your fear and the impact on your daily life can be helpful. The goal is to make it undeniably clear that this behavior was not harmless. It had real effects on your safety and well-being. The legal system requires stalking victims to prove their case step by step. Simply feeling unsafe is not enough. You need to present clear, organized evidence. If you are dealing with stalking, start gathering evidence now. Document everything. The sooner you start building your case, the better your chances of getting law enforcement and the courts to take action. You shouldn't have to do this alone. But until the system changes, we keep fighting because no one is going to do this for you. But if you document, if you persist, if you push forward, you can come out victorious. If this video helped you, subscribe and check out our Stalking Survivor Handbook because you deserve more than survival. You deserve justice.